Alright, so for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the Weiss Brothers Taylor XH-360L heavy-duty forklift in 1 to 50th scale. Now, this is a relatively new release from Weiss Brothers, and it is a fairly nice detailed model. So we're going to go ahead and start by taking a look at some of the detail on the model, and we'll get to some of the functionality on this model. So I'll start off here on the mast here. You have the Taylor logo right there. And then you also have some simulated warning decals right there. And then you have your XH-360L decal right there. That is the model of the machine. And then you have the X and the Taylor logo with the American flag, which is really nice. And then you have a diesel cap painted right there. You have some nice textured steps, which is very nice. And then you also have some tiny warnings right here, which is fairly impressive. And then you also have a warning here on the back of your exhaust. And you can see, I believe this might be the def tank, but I'm not 100% sure, but it is painted blue. And then you have, which I'm assuming is your air cleaner, and a handle on that right there. And then you have the website for Taylor. You have the Taylor logo right there. And then on the back here, you have another warning decal right there. Now, the air cleaner is plastic, and as well as the handrails and the mirrors up here are plastic. You do have some nice cab lights right there. They also are a little bit harder of plastic than compared to the handrails, but the detail on them is fairly good. Now, this model does feature opening doors, and to do that, it's fairly simple to open up the door. You can use a pick or you can use your finger, and you can see inside there you do have a fairly detailed cab interior, which is pretty nicely detailed, and the doors do open up on both sides. You can see there's a gap there, so the door is allowed to swing open. And they open and close relatively fairly easy. Now, coming to the top of the machine, you have a nice sunroof right here. And then I'm assuming this is going to be the simulated air conditioning for this forklift right there. And then you have some more work lights right there, or reverse lights. And then you have this nice mesh texturing here on the back. And then these, I would assume, are the weights. They're the weights that hold the machine down. And then coming back to this side of the machine, you have some more warning decals right here on that front fender on the wheels. And then on the back of the machine, you also have the Taylor decal, and you have a danger decal right there. And then you have some more simulated lights there, which I'm assuming are the reverse lights. And then I'm assuming these are latches to hold the engine cover down. And then coming to this side of the forklift, it's pretty much relatively the same for detail, other than you have an exhaust instead of an air cleaner. On this side, you do have some nice mesh that is around the exhaust, and it is chrome and goes to black, which is a nice little touch. And then, like I said before, the cab door on this side does open. Now, this, at least on my model, this cab door can be a little bit tricky to open. It's a little bit stiffer than the other cab door, but you can definitely get it open. And it just, opens just like that. And you can see on this side of that seat, you do have a simulated fire extinguisher right there. And then you can just go ahead and close that door right back up. And then coming to this side of the mast, you have your Taylor decal, and then you have your decals right there, and then some more warning decals right there. And then I'm assuming this black that is on all the steps and kind of foot points on the model is supposed to be some simulated anti-slip texturing. And then coming to the front mast on the forklift, you can see it's fairly large. Your front forks are controlled by hydraulics, which is pretty typical on forklifts this size. It beats having to go out there and move the forks by hand. And I would assume if you try to move these forks by hand, if they were on that rail system, they'd probably be fairly heavy to move. So that is pretty much it for the detail on this model. Now, here's the underside. Nothing real crazy going on. You do have some steering on those back axles, and then you do have double wheels on each side on the front, and you have a little bit of the drivetrain simulated right there. But other than that, fairly simple. So now we're going to go ahead and zoom out and get to some of the functionality on this fantastic model. So like I said before, the rear axles on here do steer, which is nice. So you can get some pretty realistic turning radiuses, which is fairly good. And then coming to the front of the model, you can see you have these two hydraulics here on the top. Those control your the mast to go forward and the mast to go backwards. So this is, I believe, right there as far forward as the mast will go. And then you can also move it all the way back, so that is as far back as the mast will go. Now, you do want to be a little bit careful. You don't want to, put a little too much force on it and that maybe cracking or breaking a cylinder or breaking something. So you definitely want to take some care if you're going to be messing around with the mast. But it does go out like that. Obviously, the wheels and tires roll fairly smooth. and then your mast will go up to a decent height. That is about the max height that you will get out of it, which is fairly decent. And then it will come down, and then we'll take a look at the front of the forks. Now this fork right here likes to be a little bit loose, whereas this fork is a little bit stiff. I'm sure over time, moving it in and out, it will move, but you can definitely get it to move in and out without any issue. You just want to be a little bit careful with it. You don't want to, put, like I said, you don't want to put too much force on it and end up breaking something. So there's the forks all the way in, and you could basically relatively adjust them to any length that you want, depending on what you are maybe trying to simulate the model carrying. So overall, this is definitely a nice little model from Weiss Brothers. I have actually gotten the opportunity to see quite a few of these in person. I'm not sure if the one I saw at the Watch 5 show in Ohio was a 360, but they had one in their machine shop there, and that was pretty cool to see in person. Like I said, I'm not sure if it was a 360, if it was a different Taylor forklift, but I definitely got to see one in there. And then I have seen a few of them running around at some precast facilities, and also at some of these steel facilities around here where I live. So it's definitely nice to finally have a model of the forklift, and especially a nice highly detailed model of the forklift, not, just something cheesy and cheap. This is obviously not that. This is a nice detailed model, and for the price that you pay, I believe it's currently, at the time of posting this video, about $120, which is very reasonable. And it's a very nicely detailed model, and I could easily recommend it to anyone. So if you are looking to pick up this model, I will have a link down in the description below that'll take you right over to the Weiss Brothers website, and you can pick yourself up one for yourself. Now, I can't guarantee that they'll be in stock when I put that link down in the description, since, like I said, at the time of posting this video, this is a relatively new model from them, and I believe the first shipment of the model sold out. So you might be waiting for that second shipment to come in, and I'm not sure how many of these they're willing and are going to produce. So if you're definitely looking to pick one of these up, highly recommend you pick one up before they sell out and end up on eBay going for twice the price that they are. But with that being said, that's really about it for this review. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And if you like models just like I do, consider hitting that subscribe button, where you'll be able to see some more model reviews like this coming in the future. But that's all I have. Thanks for watching.